What is up? Who we got up in here? There he is. Stop motion MMA, the 15-year-old assassin out of Maryland who cheats on trivia. Allegedly. Hmm? Hmm? Hmm. Dwayne Dennis, the other 15-year-old assassin out of... Fuck, I don't remember where you're from. Detroit? I forget. Jerome Barbour. What's up? Hagler versus Canelo at once. Jerome, did you just see my Hagler post? Please answer that right now. I'm curious. Did you just see my Hagler post? Is that what prompted you to ask that? Dope, if so. And okay if not. But tell me. Florida. I'm going to be living up in that bitch soon. As soon as this channel takes off, you did. You the man, Jerome. You the man. Appreciate you for joining. Hoops, what up? You know what, Hoops? I am going to wrench you up. And I'm not Sean Combsing it, nothing. I'm just going to call it how it be. Because you, Hoops, are a regular, so you deserve to be wrenched up. What's up, Hoops? Enjoy the wrench. You've been blessed. Mr. Lightning, what up? Raphael, what up? Hagler over Canelo. I'm always going to pick the established legend whose career is finished over a fighter who's still fighting. Always. Just because, you don't know what to expect from the career of an active fighter, because who knows which... Bud could get knocked out every single fight from now on. Then what happens? You feel me? Mr. Lightning, I appreciate it, man. I just love boxing in the chat. You the man. You the man, Hoops. You the man. You were the 17... No, you were 15 too, right? And you're a fighter. Yeah, I remember you. Smart kid too, as a matter of fact. BFTB the GOAT. Is he in here? I don't see him. I love BF. That's my man. But he's not in here. What's up, Anthony? What up, Anthony? Mr. Marco, good evening. What's up? Be unique. One. You're right. People should be unique. Once. Agreed. So you saw my Hagler video. Hopefully you liked it. You commented on it. If you're not, please do so. Did you see my Fury video? This crazy motherfucker's headbutting people. He's headbutting people. Oh, you want to hit people with a garbage can. That's a way too old reference for everybody who's in this room. Old movie. Who knows that movie? Who knows that? Tell me the movie. Oh, you want to hit people with garbage cans. Now I got to cut you. Tell me what that's from. 15. Word up. Mad 15-year-olds up in this piece. It's okay. I like 15-year-olds. You guys are usually way... That sounded so foul. I like subscribers who... Okay, I shouldn't even strike that. Younger people tend to be less tainted, less angry, more open to learn, to gain knowledge. You know what I'm saying? That's what I meant. Not the foul way it just sounded. John Fury's wild. Boom, Jersey Blood. Of course. One of the dopest movies. I'm gonna knock it. I'm gonna knock it somebody out. You know what I'm saying? Sure do. It took a second, but I got you. But what's up, TBVs? Mark. Well, I'm not really TBVs. You spelled my name wrong. That's cool. Common mistake. There's a K instead of a C. I guest host on TBV. Not always. Since Homeboy went back in the studio, not so much. But Chris Hansen about to bust in here. Who's Chris Hansen? Harlem Knights. Word up, baby. Word up. I love watching your videos to learn more about boxing. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. I'm getting compliments like that a lot, and I like it. Now I'm knowledgeable and all that. I like it. I like it. I appreciate it. I've been hardcore into boxing since 13. I'm 47 now, so what's that? 34 years? Is that what that is? It's a long time. And I went back and I watched all the tape available, everything back from the earliest tape to ever the first heavyweight championship televised, which I think was Jack Johnson. I mean, I go back that far. I've watched everything, so I know, it's harder to break down videos from 1908, 1920 because it's less frames per second, it's shittier quality. But you get what I'm saying. Fury's dad is a school threat. What's that mean? Like shooting up a school? I don't get it. Go. There's another 15-year-old or 17. I got mad 15-year-olds up in this piece. I'm okay with that though. That's good. Chris Henson is host guy of the show where they catch. Oh, damn. Why'd you Chris Henson about to? Oh, right. Because I said I got you. Yeah, no. Shit. Even when I was younger, I didn't like girls as any 3 to 4 years younger than me. I couldn't go 3 to 4 years younger tops. That was in my 20s. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I never like. What are you gonna do with a younger? What are you gonna talk to him about? Pokemon? The Warriors. What up? What up? What up? Who do we think is winning between Fury? Come on, man. Who you got is who's winning. Stoppage. 19. Unk. My bad. 19. Yeah. So you're college, either in college or of college age, right? I get you. Big difference between college and high school. Big difference. I actually hated college and I didn't really like high school. Junior high was my shit for some reason. But I was an angry young man. I was just man in high school and college. I was just boxing. Didn't really have much of a social life. My social life didn't come until after college. I'm about to have my 7th American amateur fight. I think you meant, right? And congrats. Boots fights on. Yeah, I know he's fighting Crawley. I should go to that fight. Matter of fact, I will. Who's doing it though? I got to see where I can get a press credential. Usyk can win, in my opinion, but he got to hit and run. He can, but will he? Marco, dream fight in any major weight class. Right now? Tank, Inoue, Benavidez, Canelo, Anthony Joshua, Fury. And better BF Bivol. I didn't go to college. I always hated school. Yo, me too. I went to college. Let me tell you guys something. All you youngsters in here, I'm not saying don't go to school because college is dope for the experience. I didn't absorb the experience well because I was angry. I was a Hell's Kitchen dude. I'm in New York, didn't relate to it. I was at University of Arizona's where I went there for the boxing team. I was just boxing. I had a shitty attitude, that attitude a lot of dudes from the hood have, especially from the East Coast. People didn't really, I had a shitty attitude. People stayed away from me. So I didn't have a good college experience. But the thing with college is going there puts a lot of pressure on you because you're supposed to know what you want. You're supposed to go in at 18 years old or 17 and choose a major. 17 and 30-year-olds don't know what they want to do for the rest of their lives, let alone a 17-year-old trying to pick what they're supposed to do. But the experience is dope. And I graduated with like a 2.2 GPA, which is basically like C average. I didn't end up using any of my college. I ended up opening a business and boxing. So even if you can't go, can't afford it, don't want to go, don't. It's America, man. There's a lot of other ways you could do your thing. What up, Adam? John Fury's out of control. That's a fact. I thought he was full of shit, but he's serious with it. Usyk will beat Fury. No, he won't. Stop. You're always contrarian. You and the contrarian Casanova, who I haven't seen in here in a while. And I like it. You like it? All right. Everyone hit the yes. Listen to Anthony. Hit the like button. Where are you ranking UA? Top 5 pound for pound. Best in the world. Come on, man. Marco versus Ness. Come on, man. Ness is my man. Ness is not my weight class, but even if he was, Ness does not want to do this. Ness is not a boxer. He is a way more successful podcaster than me, though. That's my man, though. It's all in fun. What do you think about Spence Garcia? I don't think it's going to happen. Inoue top, for sure. Garcia versus Spence is a good matchup. Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen, though. Unk, you should sports bet. What do you mean sports bet? Do a show, or you mean just bet on sports? I don't get it. Bivol Benavidez is much better fight than Canelo. Benavidez disagreed. Bivol doesn't have the power Canelo does. Completely disagree. And Canelo still has that aura of invincibility, especially at super middle. So, but John Fury's a fighting man. He sure is. I got Fury the ninth. I like that, Adam. I'm with that. I'm with that right there. Who did he headbutt? Check my go to Dwayne. Go to my either my Instagram or my YouTube right now. Go to my shorts or my reels, and you'll see it. You'll see the whole thing that I put up. You want me to put the link for you? I could do that too. Why don't we do that? Hold on. Let me do that. Boom. How do I share it? Copy link. Okay. And the link, there it goes. So there's a link. You guys want to watch? Watch. You don't think Inoue did enough to beat? Nah. Maybe Warriors. Maybe it's a tough one between him and Bud. Bud beat bigger names, but just because you're bigger names doesn't mean you're a better fighter. Just when you're in a crappier, less known division like bantamweight, you fly under the radar. By the way, I'm waiting for it. I got a 4K camera coming in, so this shit'll be crisp because I got to stepping my game up, and I feel like this needs to be crisper, right? This MacBook's from 2019, so I thought about it. I'm like, that's like ancient in computer technology. Clicked on my own thing. He headbutted the small. Yeah, I know. Well, watch my everybody right now. Do me a favor. I just put the link in there. Matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do? I will pin it. I'm gonna pin this. Do me a favor, guys. Go right now and watch that video real quick. Tell me first if you like it. Thumbs up it, like it, and then we'll talk to me about it. You can't invite Fury to a party. No, you cannot. What do you think Inoue walks around at? 35, maybe 40? But it's hard to tell. John headbutt, yep. I don't even know if he was 150 pounds. I wonder what he said to make. Look at my video. I talked about that. Tell me after you saw my video. And I'm gonna put the link out in a second. So if anybody wants to call in, may do so. Inoue a little twerp. Damn. Stop. You go against what I was saying about most 15-year-olds. They don't have the hate in them yet. You got it. You got it. It was good. I liked it. Thank you. Appreciate you. Inoue was a little twerp. Inoue is no joke. He could retire undefeated if he doesn't bite off more than he could chew, which is like Tank or some wild shit like that. I think he's too little for Tank, though. Boxing fathers are getting more and more out of control. I just said that, man. Think of all the big boxing fathers. They're all wiling out. All of them. Haney, who I like, but he's wiling out. Danny Garcia's father wiles out. Tio's father wiles out. Jose Benavidez' dad doesn't. He keeps his shit. Yeah, dude did say twerp. That's a throwback word. I got hate for Inoue, Canelo, Ryan, Errol. Young brother, you shouldn't hate anybody that didn't affect, like, let somebody like beat your mom's ass or beat your ass or did something like that. You shouldn't be hating anybody, especially people you don't know. Two Pops is the most annoying dude in boxing. Oh, Tio Pops. Man, I just interviewed him. He's cool. He's flamboyant. He's loud, but you have to understand in boxing you have to promote. Now I think Ryan and John Fury, maybe they go too far with the promoting. There's a fine line between promoting and mental health. You know what I mean? Inoue is more skilled than Tank, but way too small. Maybe. Boxers need to stop making their parents talk for them. Well, what's up, Go Good? Fame is a drug, fathers. Okay. Okay. It's not hate on a personal level. There's just profession. All right. Why not? Why not? I feel good, man. I did 8 rounds today on the bag. You guys saw my video where I broke the double M bag? Bust that shit right up. Didn't even mean to. Didn't even mean to. You about to call? All right. Well, let me put up the link because I don't have it up. We can get you up in this piece. All right. Let's dismiss that. Call in. There it goes. And pin it. Alrighty. There it goes. Whoop, there it goes. Call-ins are available now. Calling in is available. Marco, go spar with James Toney. James Toney is a little too old. And I don't want to spar. I would spar James Toney, though, just to say I did it. Haney weak or nah? Maybe a little? Right? Sure, it looks that way. After watching the Neary fight, anyways, chin is now somewhat. Nah, man. That he got. I'm telling you, oops. He got dropped simply because he was also throwing a punch in going in this direction, and then what's his face's punch came as well and landed and pushed him in that direction, spun him around. That's the only reason he went down. If he wouldn't have been throwing a punch, he wouldn't have gone down. Any fights you want to happen? Yeah, I named a few of them just before. John Fury is impeccable. Oh, it's imbecile and impeccable are totally different things. So that's my bad. Edward, you might have a point. I don't know. I like him, but I get it. He went too far. I don't know why he's headbutting a kid who's taking his SATs, but whatever. I'm going to get a boxing membership soon. I just went to my nearest boxing gym for the first. Oh, word? Where'd you say you are? Florida? Where's Dwayne in Florida? Dwayne's in Florida. I forget where you're from. Yeah, man. If anybody wants to box, you got to go to a boxing gym. That's the way to do it. You go to a boxing gym. I got people sending me videos and they're in their basements or whatever, and that's cool. Good way to start. But if you really want to learn, you got to go to a gym. The problem is when you go to a gym, you're relegated to just dealing with whatever trainers are there. And I hate to say this, but I would say 30%, excuse me, I'd say 50% of trainers at random gyms, not pro, wild card, but random gyms, 50% of the trainers are not good. They're not necessarily going to destroy you, but they can only take you so far. That's the problem. So once you get better, you need to start looking for better trainers. Hate's a strong word and get thrown around quite often. Around quite for just having a little bit of critique. Are boxing fans that much into their feelings, or are they fangers, projecting? Fan angers? I never heard that before. Does the guest at the end yesterday have a channel? I don't know if he does. Ray, right? All right, we got a couple people coming in here. Let's do this the right way. Boom, boom. What's up, fellas?
What's going on, Marco?
How's
We
it
got
going?
Raphael up in here and Hoops. How you guys doing?
Doing good. It's a good day.
Not bad, not bad. You guys saw this headbutting melee?
Marco, before you start, did you play any video games when you were younger?
Yeah.
Best console?
I was never. This is Raphael asking, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Because it's not lighting up, but I'm assuming you're around my age, so that's why you would ask that, right?
Um,
Or no, you're not my age. You're a lot younger.
I'm 36. I'm gonna be
Okay,
37
10
this
years younger. So close enough.
year.
I wasn't a huge gamer, but obviously the OG Nintendo was dope. Sega, GameCube. I didn't really have a best. It kind of jumped around. Anything Nintendo or Sony made was usually the best. And Sega at one point. Why are you asking?
So for me, it was the Super Nintendo, and I'm actually playing Super Ghosts and Ghosts. I don't know if you ever remember that game, but it
No,
was super fucking hard.
no, I don't remember it.
For me, it's way down the line. The PlayStation 2. The PlayStation
Damn.
2.
That-
Because we couldn't, I remember PlayStation 4 came out. I asked my mom if I could get it. I was like, I had to have been like 9. And she was like, nah, we can't afford it. And my uncle came through. He brings me a PlayStation 2.
Dope.
I had Guitar Hero, Mortal Kombat, like a whole bunch of
That's
3D,
dope.
eight
That's dope.
90s games.
That's a nice surprise. I always only really played. I played basketball games and any fighting, like Mortal Kombat. I loved this game Tekken. That's still out. Street Fighter. I'm still now. I go on, and I'm not. You guys know me. I don't bullshit. I go on the Switch, and I'm like ranked in Street Fighter. Like I'm like beating Like I'm up there in Street Fighter. That's the one game where during COVID I kind of would just play it all the
Which
time.
Street Fighter?
The only one on the Switch now. What the fuck is it?
I think
What's
it's
it called?
5.
No, it's like tournament. I forget. I got to look at it and tell you. But that one I'm dope with.
Because I still play Super Street Fighter 2. I don't play the Alpha or any of those.
It's whatever. I think it's the only one on Nintendo that you can kind of play people online, or the newest. It's the newest one available, but it's not new. But whatever. I played recently the Street Fighter on the PS5 briefly, and it's almost too intricate for me. Too much 3D. Too much. I like it like just looking like side scrolling and looking 2-dimensional. I like it more old school.
Yeah. I tend to stick to the old school stuff. PlayStation 2 was the last very console that I ended up getting. I stopped playing after that.
Right. Yeah. Well, I wish there was better boxing games. I used to love playing Knockout Kings.
Oh shit, the De La Hoya joint.
Mhm. And then what was the other one? Knockout Kings, and there was one more. What was it? They had a few of them. Fight Night, right?
Fight Night, yeah.
Fight
the one with Roy Jones in the cover.
That's right. Best defensive fighter on the planet. So yeah. So what do you guys think of this Fury thing?
Okay. So out of context, it's really bad. But within the context of John Fury as we know him, I wouldn't say it's completely out of character. I think
not at all. But and you wonder, are these dudes just talking, right? Then you see him actually do it, and I don't want to call like that kid was young that he hit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Like he
was small too. It wasn't like he was just young. He was small. It was a a big difference. John Fury standing at like 6 foot, and it was a big difference in size.
I agree. Yep. And the kid didn't even seem like he was getting in his face. He was just kind of
like he just kind of took the headbutt, and you see John Fury's security grab him afterwards too. Like he got headbutted, and then he really got put in a chokehold by security. He really didn't have a chance to retaliate or like say anything. It was kind of like,
yeah, that was some bullshit. I wasn't, and then I wonder, like I said this in my video, but then I mean it. I'm wondering, like, is Ryan Garcia spearheading this new tactic way to promote where you're just like extreme promotion? Like, what are they doing?
I don't know.
So are we talking about this headbutt, or are we talking about the fight in general?
Headbutt first. What's up, Army Mike? What's going on? Yeah, headbutt first. Yeah, the headbutt first. And, man, and you would think, too, you're in a different country where dudes are kind of strict. Like, aren't you worried you might do something to piss them off and end up in prison? Like, chill.
Nah, I don't think I think Fury is really a head cannon, so he doesn't really think too far ahead before acting. Like, he's known for kind of doing dumb shit. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose. I am getting amped for the fight. I'm trying to just figure out if I want to stream it with you guys, or if I want to maybe go somewhere else to watch it, go on somebody else's channel, or just have some friends over. Because I'm excited for this, man. This is the first undisputed championship fight, heavyweight fight in 25 years, I think. That's no joke.
I remember watching the Lennox Lewis versus Holyfield 1 and 2, and felt like Lennox. I hated Lennox Lewis, by the way. I thought that he had such a horrible style when I was younger. And
I feel like us New Yorkers, maybe not just New Yorkers, Americans, we all had this weird bullshit conception like that Brits are soft, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Also, I will say New Yorkers, because Lennox had beef with two of y'all biggest fighters. He had beef with Riddick Bowe and Mike Tyson.
Yeah, you're right. How do you know all this, man, at your age? Impressive.
So like, so my name is Tyson, like my actual name.
Oh, word?
Yeah. So like, that's just who I was named after. Like,
you need to change the spelling name, man.
She changed the spelling, like she took the O out for an E, but like, yeah.
Tyson. Okay. Yeah. So your mom's a big boxing fan?
No, but like my grandmother is, so she's the one who like That's just like it's just a big thing for my grandma because like she grew up watching Muhammad Ali and everything. She's really the one who got me into boxing. Like, so she took me to the gym for the first time. I was like 7. I didn't stay
That's
with it. I
dope.
watched for like a
Well,
year and I stopped.
that's dope. Hold on one sec. Let me get the super chat. Big up to my man Igor. Big up, hitting me with a 5-piece, beautifully executed combination, 5-piece combo. Appreciate you. Garcia about to return that 12 milli to the bookies after May 22nd. You know what? I often wonder, would he, like, I don't know if you're joking, Igor, but would he have to? Because if it's no longer a win, then I don't know how that works. Every other sport in history, you cannot change the outcome, right? So you get paid out then and there. But this is the one sport where outcomes sometimes change. So I wonder what happens if there's a precedent for that.
I'm not 100% sure, honestly. I think everything's about to stay the same. I think the attorneys are working hard on this one to just change the outcome, but
Well,
honestly, I think everything's about to stay the same.
that's cool.
At worst, it changes into a no contest, but
Well,
that
no, that's what I'm talking about. It can only change. Army Mike, I heard that too. It can only change if the no contest, if it becomes a no contest, because the way it works is whoever officially wins, and if it's officially changed, well then Ryan Garcia no longer officially won, even though he didn't lose, but he didn't win. But I heard though that with boxing, somebody else I know who bets, just like what Army Mike said, that boxing, this is the way they do it. The night is the night, and then they pay you out, and they don't look back no matter what happens. So I don't think he's going to have to give that 12 milli back. That's a lot of money, though, man. I could use it. Shit.
Yeah, I don't think so. I to be honest, like and full disclosure, like I'm not a Ryan Garcia fan. However, I did call him to win. When
Well,
everyone kept saying like, oh, like this guy got no shot, I just said like, listen, to me, Haney is not that guy. He's very high IQ when it comes to boxing. But it almost seems like, how can I say? It's like, Marco, you've been at the gym with guys that are very good uh, at the gym boxing, but when they're put in a tough situation, like tough pressure situation, they can't really think themselves out of it.
you call them gym fighters, the ones who I've been in there with guys who smoking and sparring, but then they get under the lights and it's different. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was drunk. One of my fights that kind of happened to me, so I get it.
So and I'm not saying that he can't really outthink himself. It's just different. You outthink in a situation and you thinking while you're being pressured to fight. My whole thing was Ryan needs to make this a fight. He can't box. He can't really box him because he's not going to be able to outthink Haney. And that was my whole thing going into the fight. If he makes it a fight, not a boxing match, I think Haney is going to be in a lot of trouble. It did surprise me, the fight going into a decision. So that kind of shocked me a little bit. I in my head, I kept saying like, oh, if Ryan wins, he's going to win it by KO in less than 6.
I personally feel like the referee. I feel like because there were 2 where they called slips. There were 2 knockdowns that he called slips.
I thought it might have been 3, but
yeah, it was 2 or 3. No, because he got 3, and I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure if you get knocked down 3 times. Well, no, it's a championship fight though. That's not a rule in championship fights.
No, it is. It's not. It doesn't have to do with the championship fight. It has to do with the state. Every state has different 3 knockdown rules. Yeah,
but he knocked him down, and then they called it a slip, and then they called it a trip. I felt like Ryan really, he knocked him down.
right.
There was a point, I think it was like the 7th round, where I felt like Devin Haney was just trying to make it through.
And
I feel like they're both really good fighters. But I don't think they're great fighters. I think they're both like, yes, I think Ryan has the physicality that Devin needs to be a great fighter, and Devin has the skill that Ryan needs to be a great fighter. I think that all in all, they just don't have all of the qualities. And even though they have, it's also a mentality kind of thing. because like it looked like Devin was just trying to make it through the fight instead of winning. You know,
Yeah, I guess if you can kind of put them in a blender, blend them up, and combine them, they'd be a perfect fighter.
good combo. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
You know,
yeah.
we're gonna see. I don't know. Somebody said here the bookies will void their bets, but how do you get the money back from people you already paid out? That's almost impossible.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't think that's gonna happen. But with that whole situation, what I wanted to say is like, it almost feels like the public perception of a fighter matters a lot. Like if you look at Timothy Bradley talking about when he beat Pacquiao that first fight,
mhm.
and a lot of people called him like, "Oh, you're not a real champion," and all of this. That kind of hurt him mentally a lot. And
Mm.
I feel like Haney is the Haney team is doing so much to kind of like get that zero back on and trying to kind of call out that this wasn't fair and this and that. They got out they got beat mentally before stepping into the ring, and that's something that people aren't really counting on. So the fact
What
that they're
makes
going and,
what
and
makes you say that though? What makes
so
you?
so think about this. Ryan was acting very erratic from the beginning of the promotion.
Right.
Him leaking out that sparring bit video when people kept saying like, "Oh, well, why is Ryan even doing that?" Like Ryan is not even Devin is not even fighting Tank. Like this is not about Tank. The mentality shifted from I'm fighting Ryan to defending myself against what I did against Tank because that's the fight that the public wants to see. Everybody's shifting and thinking about Devin versus Tank, and what did Devin really do versus Tank in sparring? And that shifted the mentality of like, oh, Ryan is just another guy that I'm gonna beat, and the fight to make later on is gonna be Devin versus Tank. So it almost caused him to overlook Ryan from the beginning, and him just trying to bait him into getting angry and doing all the antics. I
Yeah,
think
I get what you're saying. I feel like I still feel like it should be a no contest. I know we already went over this. I've said this to you guys 1,000 times, but you know, the intent matters. Did Ryan do it on purpose to try and cheat? Was it an accident? If it was an accident, did he
well,
have
how can you prove that?
That's where I'm going with it. If it was an accident, did he have enough in his system where it would even make a difference? And all that it boils down to is what you just said. There's no way to prove any of it because Ryan can come back right now with paperwork saying I had this supplement tested and it did show traces of osteoid or whatever. More than half the people would be like, yeah, bullshit. Anybody could give a piece of paper that says whatever we want on it. We don't believe you. You know what I'm saying? You'll just never know. So that's it. Unless Ryan admits, the only thing that people I think would globally accept is if Ryan goes, yeah, I cheated on purpose. Fine, I'll admit it. Right? I think we'd all accept that. But
Yeah.
everything else, nobody's going to accept. So we're stuck with, whatever it is. And
I think perception is 50-50, and that is just based on kind of Ryan knows how to manipulate the social medias very well. He does have a cult following,
he's
so
going a little far though, man. Did you guys see the stuff he's putting out? Like Devin screenshotting some girl who Devin said that Devin like beat her up or something. Did you guys see that?
well, I don't think that was him. I think that came from someone else.
It wasn't Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan posted it afterwards. With
Either way, it seemed like she was talking to him, but either way, like, why is he like, what's the point of that? They're not
yeah.
fighting anymore unless he's trying to bait him into fighting him again to piss him off. Maybe
I think the Cambosos thing is kind of messed up. Like that's
what do you do again?
so
He said he slept with Cambosis' wife after he beat.
Yeah, wiling out. Now I think it's a blatant lie. He's not trying to act like it's true, is he?
no. He's just trolling.
Trolling.
I felt like
No,
it
you
was
don't
really
trust somebody's
disrespectful
family.
because he was kicking him while he was down. That was disrespectful.
And you're absolutely right, Hoops. It's disrespectful to kick while you're down, and you don't bring family into this boxing stuff. You know, wives, children, parents. No. Unless the parents are, like Bill Haney and they're in your face too. That's a different story. But
then another thing, Cambosis, I feel like is a decently respectful fighter. I feel like he's never really been blatantly disrespectful with anybody. So I feel like it was really out of pocket for him to come to Cambosis. You know what I mean? And this is just my take on it. Kambosos fought all 11 of them rounds. He got knocked out, technically, yes. But he fought all 11 of them rounds, and he didn't quit. Ryan got hit with a body shot and quit.
He
You
did.
know what I mean? He
That's
stayed
what
on the
I
ground.
think. That's what made everything so much more surprising about Ryan winning, because not only did Tank beat him, but on top of that, he got dropped by the guy Luke Campbell, and then, like you said, he got down by a body shot, and to the naked eye, and to all of us, me included, it looked like he quit.
Yeah.
And he never really, because we all know what it looks like when you get hit by a body shot. Like guys are like wincing. They're like Usyk. You saw what Usyk did when he got hit with that low blow?
Yeah.
That's why I knew it wasn't a low blow. That's how you react to a body shot. A low blow, you're not taking deep breaths and trying to catch your breath. A low blow, you're like, fuck. We've all been hitting the nuts at least once, right? Somehow, and by accident, we're like, oh.
Your stomach seeks in, everything.
Yes. You're not gasping for breath.
I know that we're switching a little bit of topics, but I don't think I ever heard you full commentary on the Loma win and the Lomachenko Kambosos thing.
Okay, I could do that.
Any thoughts on it? Like how the fight apparently played out?
Yeah, for sure. What's up, Shamar? What's going on? M Easy BX in the house. It's one of your fellow peeps, Raphael. Ryan has always been a scumbag. His true colors are coming out. You might be right, but it's hard to tell. The Loma fight, I had
quick thing about that, the whole Loma thing. I mean, about the Ryan thing that he just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I forgot who was it that posted something about criticizing Ryan, like how low he's coming. I think the whole Ryan situation right now, along with the Shakur, just kind of makes me take a step back and kind of just have acknowledgement that they're just kids, and people are not taking this into account. Like when you really, in retrospect, looking at everything, looking what Shakur is doing, tweeting and venting and doing all this, and Ryan quote unquote trolling or doing things, they're just kids, and kids with a lot of power in their hands. And when I say power, is fame, the money, they do wild stuff. True. So I think that takes into account a lot of the things that are happening. But sorry, continue to go on.
See, but I wouldn't say they're kids, but he's a young adult, and I feel like a lot of the times Ryan Garcia, when he does things like this, when he tweets or says really out of pocket stuff, it's when he's drunk or high. I feel like he intoxicates himself a lot. We see Ryan's a big partier. He parties a lot after victories. Yeah. No, there's nothing wrong with that, but he's a big partier. Marker, you're on mute.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that Ryan has been on the limelight for a very long time, since he was a kid.
He has, and being a kid is relative. Like, Hoops is 15, so I'm saying to me, but it's all relative. But I think anything over 21, they start being a little better judgment. Obviously, Raphael, to you, think back when you're 26, that probably seems like a lifetime ago. To me, that was 20 years ago. So, but it's relative. But I get what you're saying. Ryan, especially, it's tough because when you have everybody around you blowing so much smoke up your ass and kissing your ass, and you have all these followers, like we all know what it's like to go and get a couple likes on a video of ours. Like you get that little, dopamine rush. Picture him. It's like a overload of people just like hanging from his nuts, swinging. So, but still, you have to take accountability for your actions.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that he should or he shouldn't or whatever. I'm just saying, like, looking at everything, it just makes me realize, like, this guy is a kid and he's pretty immature right now. He's not taking care of things the right
maybe way. But yeah, I think 26 is old enough where he's probably gonna always have
because we have Boots. Boots is 26 and Boots doesn't do any of this.
Yeah, but how
it's always about
Devin too. Now, but age does mature you, so it depends who you are. But Raphael could have a point. Ryan could easily look back when he's 33 or 32 and be like, "What the hell was wrong with me?" Or he could be doing the same shit. It's hard to tell.
I mean, it and everyone's experience is gonna shape them and mold them, though, differently. It's just who your if your parents, if you're surrounded by yes people like that, that has a big factor in it as well. What type of experiences you're having. So it just really depends. I just say that at the end of the day, it really depends who is he surrounded by? Is he being surrounded by people? Hey, Ryan, like, listen, you can't be doing that because X, Y, and Z. Or hey, listen, I'm gonna do whatever I want because at the end of the day, I do what I want. So, but
Right.
regardless of that, the Loma Cambosos, what were your thoughts on it?
I'll tell you in a second. M Easy, you're right. Yeah, Virgil Ortiz is a young guy. He doesn't act like that, but it's all relative. Loma Cambosis. I thought Loma was going to win a UD initially, which I came very close to calling correctly. Um, I wanted. My question was, has the mileage and the years caught up to Loma, right? Because 400 amateur fights is a lot of fucking fighting. You know what I mean? Uh, and he's 36. It adds up. But he proved to us that he's still pretty much the same person. Maybe the long breaks have done him well. When you're at that level, contrary to popular belief, long breaks benefit you. It's like riding a bike. When you're experienced, when you're older, taking a break, I think, and this is debatable, obviously, is just good for you because you're resting your body, you're resting your mind, and you're not accumulating any more mileage neurologically. So I think it's a good thing. So that might have helped Loma. Um, Loma, it showed me that Loma is not a 40 pounder. Can't go past 35. Would probably still make 130 and dominate and unify. Um, Footwork is some of the best I've ever seen, and his punches are very fast and snappy. And if you look a lot, Loma does something that I've tried to teach or tell people. You generate power when you punch down, right? Whoever you are, you generate more power when you dig in, widen your stance, dig your feet in, and punch downward. Loma does a lot of downward punching because he jumps in on people, starts throwing punches, gets them ducking, and then if you look, he throws a lot of shots downward. So he's throwing these snappy, fast punches, aiming downward or aiming at the right trajectory, and they're hard because they're fast. Nobody sees him coming, and he gets good leverage. That being said, all that, Loma is very dangerous. The only thing I haven't really seen, does he have a good chin? And is his defense, because his offense is his defense. I've never seen him really have to use his defense.
I mean, his defense is actually his feet. He has very good range control.
That's what I just said, right? But right, and he jumps in and out with his feet. But what happens when he's in the corner? But I don't think he'll let himself get in the corner.
Yeah, I think that the only one time that we saw him really get put in a difficult position was against Linares when he got
Right,
dropped, and he
right.
recovered pretty
Oh,
quickly.
Linares dropped Loma.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot about that. Keep it
Yeah.
moving. Big shout. Hit me with the two piece. Oh, this one's at you, Raf. Rafael don't know shiznit. Ryan made bank. What he make? Well, you can answer that yourself if you'd like, Rafael. But just because somebody made money doesn't mean what they're doing isn't classless.
Yeah, I mean, not saying that what he's doing is right or wrong. I'm just saying that. Well, no, the opposite. I'm not saying that he's not making money. I'm just saying that what he's doing is kind of out of pocket.
It is out of pocket. It's a
Like,
little too, I
yeah,
liked it in the beginning. I thought it was, spicy, but then when he started doing the stuff we're talking about now, posting that text, talking about banging somebody's wife, even with Errol, he's like, what? Like something about banging Errol's wife too? He says something like that. I forget what it was exactly.
And then for me, it's also like you're online with it. See, like, Mike Tyson at least would say this stuff at the press conference to your face. Right there, Mike Tyson tell you he'll kill you. You
It's a
know what I
good point.
mean? You're
It's a good
saying this
point.
online, man. And then you stand in front of Devin Haney and talk about how when we were in the amateurs, we were such good friends. We went to the circus. Man, you're like my brother. Where
Yeah.
where did, where did all of this go?
No,
Where
there's
does
videos of them from a few years ago. You've seen them, I'm sure, where they'll be pounding, hey, taking
yeah.
pictures. Yo, we'll fight next, but it's love. Um,
But
yeah,
but then you can talk online. I feel like that's a really big problem
That's
with
a
boxing.
lot of people do that. That's absolutely true. Marco, what are your thoughts on Tim Tszyu? I thought that the fight should have been stopped, Warriors. I thought it should have been stopped after the second or third round. Should have been no contest. They should have done it again. Tim Tszyu showed tremendous heart and good skill fighting with one eye. And don't forget, it's not just one eye. It's not just that you can't see. It's like stinging. It's like you have to wipe it. It's also a hindrance on top of losing your eyesight. So, yeah.
Any thoughts on what Loma should do next?
Yeah, man. I mean, shit. There's only two names. You guys know them.
Shakur and Tank.
There you go. And
I-
Tank is the fight, but
I'm on the contrary on that. I think he should retire.
damn.
I think he left everything on the table in that Devin fight, and I actually did see him. I did see notice his age in that fight versus Kambosos. Kambosos was hitting him with things that, I mean, I've been following Loma since his second fight,
Okay.
and I remember the Gary Russell Jr. fight very vividly.
Okay.
Mind you, Gary Russell Jr. is had one of the fastest hands in boxing. Like, to me, it's never. This guy used to shoot those fists like pistons.
True.
And Loma just was able to handle that. I think that Loma showed his age a lot. I think he should retire. He doesn't have much to prove. I think he gets clipped by Tank, and that's coming from a guy that Loma is one of my favorite fighters. And he probably gets edged out by Shakur, because Shakur is much fresher. You know, he's much younger.
Mm.
You know.
Well, I gotta obviously disagree with you. I think that fight sparked a lot of excitement and hope in a lot of us, because we're like, oh shit, now Shakur and Tank have a third. Now we have an extra body in there to mix up these super fights.
Yeah, but this is what people are not putting into the conversation. Who he did that against? It was Kambosos. I don't really rate Kambosos that high.
Agreed,
I felt
but you know what? You're right. Just like Devin Haney waxing Regis, but look how big it made the Ryan fight. Even though, you know what I'm saying? It might.
No, not true. Because Regis had a really good performance versus Cepeda, and that gave him that. Even though he had
Moses had it against Tio. Same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like the point is, I get what you're saying. Maybe people are overrating him because of that win, but the fact is, it's still creating great fights, even if they're just great fights for one fight until one guy is quote unquote exposed. You know what I mean?
So,
real quick, keep it moving. I am not from New Jersey. Never been. Not. Let me repeat. I am not a bridge and tunnel dude from Jersey. I am from Hell's Kitchen, Manhattan, Midtown Manhattan, New York City, Jersey. Come on, Raphael. That's insulting talk. Jersey.
So, question then. Risk versus reward. Do you feel like the fight is much worth it? The Tank fight, not the Ryan fight, the Tank fight.
For Loma?
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Of course. That would put Loma back in pound for pound talks. Number one. Okay. Oh, yeah, it's worth it. What happened? He already lost twice, right? What happens? I mean, he could get knocked, spark out. And I don't know if you guys caught my interview with Coach Kenny last night, but Kenny was like, yo, I was watching this with a knife and a fork because Loma was food to me. I saw so many holes that Tank's going to stop him. Maybe that's true.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's worth it.
I say the same thing. The only key thing that makes it interesting to me is how would Haney and Loma kind of react to left-hander versus left-hander, because that's the only thing that makes me kind of think about everything.
They're all left-handers. I just realized all three of those guys left-handers.
Yeah, left-handed versus left-handed matchup, and just seeing how that plays out. That's the only thing. But outside of that, I feel like,
and you see, that's a problem for a lot of fighters. Like, that was a problem for Errol Spence. Errol Spence had no idea what to do when Terrence Crawford was coming at him with the southpaw stance. So that brings into question a lot of things. Like, I question how Shakur Stevenson would react in front of another left-hander.
Has he ever fought one?
No,
No.
he
Okay.
tends to avoid
De Los
strong
Santos wasn't
left-handed fighters.
left-handed.
No, I don't think he was. Was he?
Let's see.
Look it up. Yeah, you guys. He might have been. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Who, Edwin De Los Santos?
Yeah, was he lefty?
I mean, if he is, it makes sense why the fight
Was
went how it went.
Yeah, my
You
daughter's
know,
left-handed.
you know who I actually really, really like that he gets a lot of flack because it's the last performance?
Who?
Jermaine Ortiz. I kind of actually really I think he's very versatile. I think he gets a lot of flack because of that Teal performance, but I saw him winning in that fight, and I just think that he probably laid an egg in those last 3 rounds and caused him to practically give the fight away.
Mm.
Yeah, De Los Santos is left-handed.
Yeah. That's what we're saying.
But, you saw how awkward he fought. Honestly, I feel like there are a lot of holes in Shakur's fighting style. He has really good combinations. I wouldn't say he's weak, but he's not strong. I wouldn't say he's strong.
Yeah.
He's definitely really good at guard manipulation. He's good at grappling. But there are 2 holes in his style. He doesn't really have angles.
Right.
And his footwork is what he relies on. He doesn't have impeccable defense. He's not an extremely slick fighter. You see, he'll just move. He'll move vertically. He doesn't really move laterally much. I think that'd be the problem with Tank because Tank moves laterally a lot. He's really good at cutting the ring off. So in a fight, I feel like Tank would cut the ring off and he wouldn't have any more space to move back.
Mm.
And that's where he gets knocked out.
Well, I hope we get to see these fights because thus far, none of these big fights at 35 or 40 have happened. It's always been either Rolly or Ryan fighting everybody who were perceived as the least amount of risk but the highest financial reward. So, and Matthias will be completely avoided because he's a high risk with low reward because nobody really knows him. So, I hope so.
To me, Teo versus Tank is the blockbuster fight.
Most exciting fight for sure.
This is super athletic because the thing with Shakur is that has a very high likelihood of being a boring fight because it'll be high IQ. Shakur doesn't have that much power to pop, at least that I haven't seen as much to pop Tank. So, and it seems that the fighters that do have power or pop, he's just gonna try to kind of box him from the outside, and he's not gonna be willing to engage. So,
probably
for me, I think there are 2 likely things to happen. I feel like Tank either clears out 135. I feel like Tank beats Shakur, and he beats Loma. He clears out 135, and he moves up. I feel like he'd move up anyway. I feel like there's nobody left at 135 currently.
Not according to his coaches. He's not moving up. But, they're not him and things change. And don't forget, Tank's, was he 30? Like, he's not going to get too much bigger now filling out. He's at his natural heaviest weight, I feel like. So I don't know if he's going to move up. I think he's going to play it smart and maybe not fight too long and not go out of his weight class so he can take any else. Play it smart, play it natural, play it to his natural weight, play it to his natural age. Don't go, don't dig in the well too many times because that's how dudes lose. Some of our greatest fighters, Roy, I could name a whole bunch. Muhammad Ali, man, they kept going too long. Lennox did it smart. Lennox retired right when he was 38. He had a tough fight against Klitschko. He felt whatever he felt, and he's like, fuck this. He's peaced out.
Yeah.
If Roy retired after winning the heavyweight championship of the world, I don't think anybody could argue that there was anybody better than him. Right? But because he didn't, now look at this. People don't even think. A lot of people don't even mention Roy. I mean, I know I do, but most people don't in the top 10.
Yeah, because a lot of people people only remember you getting knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, and it happened a lot. I mean, Roy just fought last year again, a pro fight, which he lost.
I don't know. I feel like but I feel like a lot of people have like bad top 10 boxings. I feel like there are a lot of bad top 10 boxing lists. But I feel like the other thing, I feel like Matias will clear at 140.
I don't think so.
That's
If
tough.
you guys are gonna kill me for this one, but to me, Devin wipes him out. And when I say wipes him out in a like he'll like knock him out and stuff, I think he'll put a boxing lesson on him. So this is my problem with Matias that a lot of people don't really look at, and you guys will start noticing that when Matias starts being put against better opposition, is he needs to plant his feet in order to throw and lay those power punches or value punches. If you have bad feet, you're gonna have a bad problems, particularly with guys that move and stick and move like Devin or Tio. He's gonna it's coming. It's gonna come. People haven't seen it as much now because he's just running through everyone. But a good boxer will probably expose him. The fight that would be nice to actually watch would be Matias versus Pitbull. That's gonna be a barn burner. But
that'll be exciting. I don't know if Matias could beat. I don't know how Haney would handle that constant pressure. You know what I mean? But it seemed like Haney had more problems with speed, not so much with pressure. So I don't know. It's hard to tell. And Matias too. Like, who's Matias really beat?
Well, that is my thing.
But
that is my thing.
I feel like it's an equal thing because you can't argue it against him if they won't fight him. Like Jaron Boots Ennis. That's what people say. Same thing with David Benavidez. That's what Canelo says. Who has he beaten? But you can't argue that someone hasn't beaten anybody if you won't let them beat you. That's not really a thing. I think that's the dumbest thing to argue in boxing. Who has he fought?
So I don't mention it in terms of who has he beaten. I mention it more about his style.
Yeah.
Once you start watching boxing enough, you start looking at what styles kind of match up very, very well. And when you notice certain things about boxers, you kind of saying like, well, I think if he faces this type of boxer, he's gonna have problems around it. Like the guy that he fought was the last guy that he stopped on the stool. He was from Kazakhstan. He was a Kazakhstanian guy.
Yeah, that fight was wild. That dude hit so hard too. Real quick, let me get this super chat. Keep it moving back with another one, 2-piece. Hold on, Marco. Why you look like Joe Calzaghe? Capiche? I do not. That's racist. You're a racist. All white people do not look alike. Some people used to tell me I fought like him, which annoyed me. I didn't slap like that. Like, I had some quick punches, but I could thump. He had no power, but it's still not a bad comparison because he is one of the best super middleweights ever. Go ahead, finish your thought.
Oh no, I was just saying that once you start boxing, once you start watching enough boxing, you start kind of matching up styles in your head, and you know what would give another fighter a bad problem. And I guess that's what matchmakers are for. You kind of know what's in there. But to me, Tio and Devin both kind of take out Matias. Devin right now is kind of a question mark just because obviously he just got through this tough loss and you don't know how that's gonna kind of hurt him psychologically.
I think him and Ryan need to run it. I do. At this point, I do. Because of the possible alleged drug cheating, I think they should run it this way. It clears everybody's, you know what I mean? You don't want to leave that there, even for Ryan. Like, Devin, of course, wants to get his get back. Ryan, he should want to clear his name. Fight him again. But maybe he does. Maybe in the contract, it's like, I'll fight you again, but you got to relax during the press buildup. You got to chill.
Yeah, maybe he even sells more. God knows.
Yeah. It's hard to tell.
But Tyson, Fury, and Usyk, going back to that, I have Fury on that. I don't know what you guys think.
Stop it.
A lot of people are saying Usyk because of Fury's last performance, but I think Fury's last performance is due of him being not being disciplined, taking Ngannou very lightly because he's an MMA fighter, and just kind of seeing that. I have Usyk on this one.
I
Uh,
have I have Fury as well. Where's Fury been? We haven't seen Fury, so you know he's been taking his training camp seriously.
oh yeah, you can see it on his body. It was speed Haney had a problem with. That's why I told my unc Blue I didn't want to see a rematch because I believe the end's the same or worse. You might be right, G, but the fact is, when you have a controversial event take place, the only way to clear the air for both men is a rematch, unfortunately, because we don't know that the drugs didn't give him that speed. Probably not, I agree, but we don't know that. Nobody knows that. Nobody knows anything. Yeah, I got Fury winning that fight by a sustained body attack, by leaning his weight on Fury, slowing, excuse me, on Usyk, slowing Usyk down, rubbing his forearm in Usyk's face, whatever he does is his dirtiest tactics, all that stuff. And then, of course, going to the body. Fury's body is vulnerable, or it sure seems that way. Those of you who haven't seen it, he was not better. Biev knocked Usyk down with a body shot in the amateurs. It's on YouTube. I think it was an Olympic qualifying game, as a matter of fact. So yeah. And the undercard, who is on the undercard? You guys know?
No, let me see.
Me neither. Now Devin, a busted fighter. I don't know if he's a busted fighter, but he's questionable now. If they rematch, I got Devin by UD. We learned nothing new from Ryan. Just Devin needs to defend the right hook better and the left hook better, you mean? Okay. Devin said he didn't want to rematch Ryan. Yeah, that's what he said. But he might change. Might change his mind. You know what I'm saying? Very few guys can live with that kind of an ass whooping. Competitive people. Did you look up let me know when you find the undercard. He's shorter and faster. He has good footwork. Okay. No, Devin doesn't need to run it again with Ryan. It will end the same or worse. Trust me. I'm not saying it won't, but it needs to happen for boxing.
I mean, it's a good undercard, but I don't think it's a good it's not a lot of championship fights. It doesn't have to be, but these aren't a lot.
Who's on it?
Contenders
Who's
either.
on it? That's a name we would recognize.
Marco, who did you have winning the Bebo better BF before it got?
I had Better Biev winning by stoppage because Better Biev has done that 100% of the time. He stopped every pro he's ever been in there with. So how do you go against 100%?
When I kind of seem Better BF being like this guy's a problem when he fought on Marcus Brown.
Right.
That's when I was like, whoa, like this dude is real, because Marcus Brown's an Olympian. He just made him look like nothing. I was shocked. I was like, bro, who is this guy?
Right.
But
British Sanchez, Kovalev?
Yeah, Kovalev's fighting.
Sergey Kovalev?
Yeah.
How old is he? He must be 40 something.
Yeah, he must be like 41 or something.
Are you serious? Sergey.
He's fighting this dude named Robin Safar. He's 16-0.
Yeah, he's 41. This old bastard. Damn. Why? 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 It's not like he's wrecking shop. He lost to Canelo. Didn't he lose to somebody else after that?
He lost to Yard the first time, I think.
No, he beat Yard. He was losing, and didn't he knock Yard out and then near the end after being down?
I thought that was a rematch, wasn't it?
Maybe you're right. I don't remember. I thought they only fought once, but I could be wrong.
And like we said, fighters just can't let go of it,
Yeah.
If it ends, I don't think Devin's career is over, G, if it ends the same, because sometimes fighters just have your number. This could be a case where just Brian has Dev's number. That's happened. And then fighters fight like Shane Mosley. Vernon Forrest had his number. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else did, though. There's a few instances where So he would have to lose to another fighter,
How
just like
funny,
just like
how
Wilder. Fury
how
had his number.
how
What was
funny was that? Vernon Forrest had uh Shane Mosley's number, and Ricardo Mayorga had Vernon Forrest's number.
Yep. And everybody else and their mother had Ricardo Mayorga's number.
Yeah.
We call that the triangle theory.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what that's called.
hilarious.
That triangle theory. So that's why I never compare common opponents. I mean, you have to. Okay, you of course you compare it, but I don't make it a foregone conclusion. So and so beat this guy, so of course he'll beat this guy. Nope.
That's what I was saying about the matchups, how they, styles make matchups, like, you don't really know. You may think because this guy had a bad performance that he's gonna perform the same well against this guy, but
Yep.
really no.
Absolutely. I like this question, the Warriors. That's a tough question. Do we get the Wilder that fought Zhang or the other one? If we get the other one, he'll probably knock AJ out. But do we get the AJ that's just had his last two fights, or we get the other one? The best possible matchup is the other one Wilder with the current AJ. I still think Wilder. I mean, Wilder has the hardest punch I've ever seen. You can't say what you want about him. You know, his punch, you cannot take that away from him. So I gotta lean towards Wilder if it's the old Wilder. But as they stand right now, AJ's definitely at a different level, and Wilder's at a different level, and they've kind of flip flopped. So I don't know. I guess I'd have to choose AJ until I see differently in Wilder. Maybe
Yeah,
against Zhang, he'll show us differently.
his confidence is at an all-time high with AJ, and Wilder is very low right now.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. But we don't know what's going to happen when they rematch. Trill, what up? What up? What up? I don't know, man. Wilder left something in those Fury fights. Fury took something out of him. But yes, I don't think he's the same. Possibly. Because even that knockout over Helenius, it was like he was doing that, circling on the back foot. It didn't look.
The funny thing about Wilder was that I always kind of had said the guy can't fight. I mean, the guy can't box. So I always had said that, and people kept telling me, yeah, but he has knockout power and this, and he's the most feared guy. And I was like, yeah, but he can't box. He's gonna get outboxed. And when he fought Ortiz, I was like, look, that's prime proof that the guy is gonna get outboxed. So when he was gonna fight Fury, I was like, if Fury comes in maybe at a 60 to 70% of who he truly was, he's gonna get outboxed. I was just shocked that Fury went at him the second and the third fight. I just was not expecting that at all.
Sugar Hill Stewart, man. That's what happened.
See, honestly, the thing I think about Wilder, I think, because, there are two things. There are a lot of things in boxing. I feel like you stick to what you know, but you also try new things and you add new things. I feel like Wilder needs to stop trying to be a fighter he's not. I feel like us fans have been saying Wilder would be the best fighter if he could box. Wilder would be this and that if he could box. But you have to realize every time that Wilder tries to box, he gets beaten bad because he's not a boxer. Let's just be honest.
Just like AJ is not really. AJ's a better boxer, but he's a boxer puncher with the emphasis on puncher. You know what I'm saying? And when AJ goes for the throat, he does well. Just like when Wilder goes for the throat. Yeah, that's why it'd be a great fight. They're both going to go for the throat, and who comes out on top? I don't see AJ standing up to that straight right. I just don't. If it's thrown.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If it's not thrown, then
I don't know. It's really iffy because, like there's a puncher's chance, like if Wilder he could be losing. It could be the 12th round, Wilder's down. AJ goes for a right hand, boom. Wilder catches him. And that's the fight in there. It can be just like that. There's so many variables, but I just feel like we seen when he was fighting Joseph Parker, he really was trying to do head movement. He was trying to outbox. I felt like Wilder just needs to do what he knows how to do. He knows how to fight. He knows how to throw punches. He knows how to throw 1-2. Use your 1-2. You have the strongest right hand in history.
You do. Yeah, I'm with you. Well, we're gonna see. Hopefully, I don't like how Wilder's fight is with Big Baby is already scheduled looking past Zhang. Like that's a pretty big assumption that he's just gonna beat Zhang. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Something says he's not gonna get to that fight with Big Baby for whatever reason.
Honestly, I feel like he's gonna fight Big Baby either way, even if he loses, because for Big Baby, this is still a very early part in his career. You know,
Mm-hmm.
beating Wilder or beating Wilder would be hey, I'm a top contender, and
Right.
Wilder beating Big Baby would be, look, I still got it, y'all.
Yeah.
So it's, even if he loses to Zhang, I feel like it's important for both of their careers, and I feel like the fight will still happen. Now, it may get postponed a month or a few weeks, but
Right.
I feel like it would still happen.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. It's weird how they're, like I said, it's very strange. How they're already pre-planning stuff like that, and 2 months later,
I just don't. Fighters shouldn't do that, because when you do it, you lose. That happened to Tyson Fury. You see what
Mhm.
I'm gonna fight Usyk after I fight. He fought MMA fighter, Francis Ngannou, right? And everybody says he lost that fight.
Mhm.
I
True.
feel like you shouldn't. You should focus on your current fight. Focus on your current fight. Do things one at a time.
Right. True.
Because
True.
he got distracted, and you could tell he was distracted because he did not expect it. He didn't expect it when Francis Ngannou hit him.
Has that been more the most shocking performance that you guys have witnessed?
Which one?
The Ngannou Fury.
Nah,
Was
Ever?
been
Or just recently?
the most shocking event that you guys have witnessed?
I feel like the Devin Haney one was way more shocking to me because it was the flip flop. I always knew that Tyson Fury wasn't taking him serious. I knew Tyson Fury was overconfident, but Devin Haney has always seemed like the more focused, the more hardworking out of him and Ryan Garcia. Like, I always felt like Devin Haney was probably taking his preparation more seriously.
Right.
So when Devin Haney, who I assumed was the harder working, the more prepared one, was the one who got knocked down and basically put out of the fight, I was like, man, this flips everything. When
Yeah,
Tyson
that's
Fury
true.
got knocked down, I'm like, see, this is why you should have focused on your fight instead of talking about I'm fighting Usyk next.
Yeah, you're right, and that's absolutely correct. So we might get some of that with Wilder. It's
How about you, Marco? What was the most kind of like shocking kind of event that you witnessed?
in terms of ever.
Boxing. Yeah.
Okay. I'll answer that. After that, I got to wrap it up, but I will answer that. I think it's pretty much the Rolls Royce of boxing upsets, the one that literally brought a tear to my 13-year-old eye, which was
Buster Douglas.
there you go. There you go. I remember laying in bed, and I'm from New York. I grew up in a similar hood, like where Tyson's from. It's relatable, and I was starting to box myself then, and it just makes you feel like when somebody who comes from where you came from made it, it makes you feel like, oh well, I can make it too. But then when they get thrown off, when they get dethroned, then it makes you feel like, well, so can I. Maybe I'm never meant to be there to begin with. Maybe none of us are. So that was the most shocking.
Honestly, I feel like the moment that I have it as it's my wallpaper on my phone because I lost my last fight, and I feel like it's important for me to see this every time I turn my phone on, is when Mike Tyson's getting his 8 count. When he's getting his count, he's on the ground and he's looking for his mouthpiece. When you look at his face, he was defeated, man.
No,
And
it wasn't even. I think he was just out. He wasn't. He was like in dreamland. That's why.
it was really sad to see because like it's Mike Tyson, like it was so sad to like watch that. And like for me, it's just like that is like the most top tier moment in boxing because it shows that the best fighter, personally for me, the most unstoppable, unbeatable fighter at a certain point in time can lose. That preparation does matter. Your preparation is so important.
Preparation matters, and so does mind frame.
To
You
me,
have to
me,
be mind frame to fight.
to me, the most shocking one was Marquez Pacquiao, Part 4.
That was very shocking. I actually did a video of the most shocking knockouts. And if I'm not mistaken, I had Pacquiao Marquez, I had Tyson Douglas. Fuck, what was the other ones I had? I'm like blank. I'm tired today. What the hell? There was a couple really. Well, these are old school ones, but obviously Ali versus Sonny Liston, Ali versus George Foreman, Floyd Patterson versus Igmar Johansson, Joe Louis. Now I'm going back, but Joe Louis versus Max Schmeling. Jack Johnson losing to Jess Willard was a big one. Jack Dempsey losing to Gene Tunney was a big one. What was shocking about the Pacquiao was the way it happened. Not so much that he lost, because Marquez had given him problems every fight. The way he lost, that was shocking. Oh, of course, this one too. Of course, God, this talking about this is gonna Roy Jones versus Tarver, too.
Yep.
Super shocking. And again, not so much because he lost, even though that was shocking, but how?
Honestly, I feel like Roy was going in kind of nervous in that fight.
Well, he just gotten big problems, and he probably was, for the first time, his body didn't cooperate with his brain. He's not used like, you guys are both fighters. Well, I don't know if Rafael was a fighter, but hoops, you know what it's like. You see an opening, boom, you could do it. What happens? You ever have that dream? Because you're still too young, hoops, but you ever have a dream where I used to get these all the time. You're fighting and you're trying to throw as hard and fast as you can, but it's just coming out like this. You ever have that dream?
Yeah.
So that's what it starts feeling like probably as you get older. You're like, wait, Roy's like, what the hell? I used to be able to pop off 3 of these, and now I could barely get 1 out. So, and losing all that weight affected him tremendously. So combining those things, he probably felt like a little nervous, like, shit, what am I, Rockman versus Lewis was shocking, and so was Rockman versus what's his face, Atomic Bull. What's his name?
Versus Lennox Lewis.
No, not Lennox and the other guy, Oliver McCall. Yeah, those are the 2 guys who knocked Lennox out, who Lennox avenged. So those were shocking too. Haney Garcia was pretty shocking. As a matter of fact, Bud Crawford and Errol was very shocking. Not that he won, but how he won.
Wow. The reason that I was so hurt with the Pacquiao Marquez fight wasn't that he lost. It was the fact that in my mind I was like, we're never gonna see Pacquiao versus Mayweather. That was my whole thing.
Yeah, and we still did. I mean, I thought the same thing when I remember when Zab. This is a little different. When Zab lost to Baltimore, I was like, "Now we're not going to see Zab Mayweather." They still fought, but it took the umph out of the fight because now Zab didn't seem so invincible.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And Tommy Morrison losing. No, that wasn't really that shocking. Tommy Morrison getting knocked out by Mercer was more brutal. It's like a car wreck.
So brutal. He was on the ropes, and he just, man, I think that's in my.
But I wouldn't say it was shocking. Shocking is more. I guess it was shocking. Were you shocked? No, you were more just like, oh damn.
Wow. It was like a wow. I understood Morrison had openings in his style that you could take advantage of, but it was just the fact that once the opening was taken advantage of, that he didn't stop. He kept going. You know what I mean? Like that's just like. And that's in my top 5 knockouts with
absolutely.
My other one is Hearns on Durant. That's my favorite knockout.
See, that wasn't shocking.
It wasn't shocking, but it was just
brutal.
It was so brutal.
Brutal. Like, and Zab Zoo was
how slow it was. The body jab, and then he hit
did 2. He did 2 flicks, flick,
boom. And how Durant's body just went slumped. He just fell forward like. It's
weird because here's the triangle theory. Marvin Hagler couldn't knock Durant out for shit. Yet when he fights Hearns, he knocks Hearns out. It's Hagler still beat them both, so that's the commonality. But still, it's like you never know. Hagler was a hard puncher, but he also chopped you down. Hearns was more that like one shot knockout power. I just dropped the video of Hagler, so it was fresh in my head.
I just felt like it was such a perfect, like, just a perfect moment for me, like that. Man,
Yeah, it was dope. It was dope. Yeah, there was a lot of shocking fights, and there's a difference between shocking and there's brutal. You know, I have a beautiful violence series that I do where like Roy versus Vinny Paz, and the next one I'm going to drop is Floyd Mayweather versus Arturo Gatti. Beautiful violence.
yeah,
Floyd Mayweather performed with the artistry of a ballet dancer, but the brutality of like a angry lion. You know what I mean? All in the same fight. It was beautiful and violent. So you have those fights too. There's so
All
many
right.
different levels.
Before I let you guys go, my best upset, and this is gonna seem weird for you guys, but Andre Berto versus Victor Ortiz. If you guys remember that fight,
Ortiz was favored to lose, right?
yeah, Berto was like the it guy. He was supposed to fight Mayweather at that point because actually Floyd was at I think it was Foxwood in
Uh-huh.
Connecticut. He was watching them fight because he was scouting him about coming out of retirement to fight him.
Yeah.
And he fucking, but it was a banger of a fight. Like each of them knock each other out like twice or three times. It was
Yeah.
just a barn burner. But
I mean, shit. My favorite fight I've ever seen, and I'm gonna wrap this up. But my favorite fighter favorite fight I've ever seen. Those of you who follow me know it's Corrales Castillo one.
yeah,
That was shocking in its own right.
to a lot of people, that's probably one of the best fights ever. But
The best. I mean,
yeah,
the second best fight I've ever seen, and I was at it in person, was Prince Nassim versus Kevin Kelly. It was so exciting. Super exciting. Those guys were dropping like flies. The energy at the Garden was wild. You had 50% filled with Arab Brits, 50% New Yorkers, and everybody was just going crazy because there was so many shifts in who was taking control of the fight. Yeah, that was a great fight. But well, all right, fellas, this was dope as usual. Please hit the thumbs up on your way out. And I will catch you. I'll try and shoot for the afternoon. I know I've been saying that I haven't been able to do it, but I'll try and shoot for it. But if not, I'll definitely be back tomorrow night. Yeah, man, it was good talking to you guys. All right.
are you gonna be at the Boxing Voice tomorrow?
I don't know. It depends. They're not really taking in that many co-hosts while they're in studio, but sometimes they do. And if they're taking it and I'm available, then I jump in. Like a couple times this week, they did. He called me up, and I just couldn't do it. So it all depends.
Gotcha.
All
All
right,
right, brother.
all right,
Talk to you
fellas.
later.
Appreciate you guys. Peace.